Hello, everybody. Brony22 with my review slash reaction to Spellbinder Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2. So something to mention very quick. I did not originally want to do both in one, but I decided to do it anyway. Episodes 1 and 2. Because I wasn't sure if it was a two-parter or not, but I was told later on that it was it's episodic. But, so yeah, let's start talking about episode 1 first. And basically the first thing that we see is a couple of, kids making gunpowder. Paul and I think Alex was the other kid's name. And just based off that, it suggests that, one of them's not that smart, the other one's kind of clever. And what happens is they end up burning down, the chemical lab, and someone actually loses one of their experiments they were working on. They spent I think $20 working on it. Maybe less. I'm not sure. But yeah, that kind of sucks. I don't know what that would be the equivalent to today. Because this was from the 90s. And yeah, I found it quite interesting, actually. Yeah. They did make the gunpowder, though. So that's interesting, but they never used it yet. They haven't used it in episode 1. And it's not that I've seen, if I remember. Because I do remember, they made it but didn't use it, so maybe they're saving it for something later on. But yeah, it is actually revealed that the kids are actually going to be going to a camp to watch a solar eclipse, which I gotta say is kind of neat. Now where I am, I've never actually seen an eclipse. That's mostly because of the path that the, eclipse trail took during the last eclipse. So where I was, it was just a partial eclipse, not a full eclipse. But, yeah. So it's kind of interesting that, they're going to the camp to see the eclipse, and there's this small moment where they had to make eclipse glasses for the eclipse, but the boys didn't make it, Alex and Paul. They didn't make theirs, so they stole these girls' supplies to make their own, and the girls eventually catch on and kind of blackmail them. So, after this, they actually go to this, cave, this, small cave. It doesn't seem to go that deep, but it's just a small cave, and there are stories about, mysterious lights that would happen. And the girls actually want to film it at night. And the guys actually decide, hey, they're going to go film this. Why don't we scare them? So they set up this ghost, bed sheet with eyes and a flashlight to try to scare them. And this is actually when a portal actually opens. And Paul kind of walks towards the portal and he ends up going in. And it looks like he wasn't sucked in. It looks more like he just walked in. Which is strange. Extremely strange to me. Why would you just walk into something like that? That's actually what I'm most curious about is why did he actually walk in? He could have just, looked at it and just walked away, but, Paul decides to go in. And it comes out on the other side of the portal in the woods. And we don't know much yet, but it's kind of revealed in the next episode that it might be the past. But yeah, that's basically where this episode actually left off at. Because it kind of left on a bit of a cliffhanger as someone was pointing a stick at Paul, at the end of the episode. And that's kind of what made me think at first, maybe it's a two-parter. So, overall, episode 1 has a lot of interesting, like, mysterious elements that I actually liked about it. And makes me, like, crave more and want to know what's actually going to go on. Are they, and I'll talk more about this other part that I'm curious about. So yeah. And then episode 2, which I actually recorded, like, a little bit after episode 1. Not directly after, like, 15 minutes after episode 1. It's kind of revealed, like, not technically revealed, but kind of implied that they're in the past. That Paul got transported into the past. But it's also possible it could be a dystopian future. But I'm not sure. I'm not going to make up theories about that. I'm just going to assume it's the past. And yeah, Paul is caught by someone. Like some girl. Like, and at first I thought it was Robin Hood. But it wasn't. And like this girl just has him bound up. And she's taking him somewhere. She's like assuming he's a marauder. Which he's not. He's Paul. He just got there. He just doesn't know what's going on. And, like, Paul basically kind of tricks her, in a way, because there's an eclipse happening, and the girl was like, bring back the sun, and Paul says, if you let me go, I'll do it. And, she does, the sun comes back, because, it's an eclipse, and the girl, like, kind of believes him. She kind of runs off and leaves some clothes behind for him, which I guess he puts on later on. But yeah, Paul, like, runs after her, like, they're crossing a bridge and she kind of falls in. And he helps her. And she kind of just runs off again. Now, back at the camp, the cops, and then the Paul's dad eventually comes and starts looking for them. So there's a lot of people looking for Paul. And this is the one thing I'm wondering about is, like, when are they going to find him? Or are they going to find him? Like, or a couple of more of them going to end up going back and getting stuck, just like Paul is? That's something I'm curious about. But anyway, moving on. Paul, like, finds his way into a village. And it's like a trading village. And there's some, like, guys putting up tributes for Spellbinders, which is, the name of the show. And this is the thing that actually got me a little bit more intrigued is, if they're in the past, the Spellbinders appear to have, like, some sort of technology. I mean, it might be a little bit primitive, but they do have some sort of technology. Like, shown later on. I'll explain it a little bit later on, but yeah. Paul does a little bit of trading, gets some food, and then he meets up with that girl again, helps her out a little bit with the trading. And then Paul, like, sees someone working on an airplane. And he kind of helps him fix it. And the Spellbinder lady, she sees the plane flying, shoots it down. And the one guy, like, is revealed, hey, that's the guy who was working on it. And, like, the Spellbinder does something and shoots lightning and kind of shocks the guy, and he falls down. And that's interesting. Like, very interesting technology going on here. And then the Spellbinder, like, someone says, hey, that kid over there, Paul helped him out. He didn't say his name, but... And then the Spellbinder, like, brings Paul along. Sorry about that. And then, like, the Spellbinder says, bring him. And, like, he gets his thing torn off and everyone sees the skull and, like, And then the Spellbinder shoots lightning at Paul, but he's immune to it for some reason. Not sure why. I suppose we'll find out at another time. But yeah, so now Paul is like running. He quickly runs past the girl and asks her to help. And she actually does. She like helps him out, helps him escape, which is kind of nice. And then, well, we're left off a bit of cliffhanger right here, but like Paul sees that the Spellbinders have like some sort of flying technology, like hovering. Very interesting. So this whole thing just has me so very intrigued and like curious about what is going on and what's going to happen. So I'm very interested in seeing how this will all turn out. Overall, from these first 2 episodes, I gotta say I did enjoy it a lot. Definitely looking forward to more in the future, possibly. But yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this review. Hope everybody enjoyed. There'll be a link in the description to watch my reaction, and I'll see you all later. Bye.